Welcome everyone. So we talked about Beautifly, and we're going to talk about Dustox. Dustox is super sick, so I'm really happy with these changes as well. First things first, I want to quickly touch on the fact that it does have some competition with other bug poison types, such as Venomoth, for example, which is another special attacking bug poison type. They do share the ability Levitate. However, their main ability is far different, and their stat spread is far different. So Dustox is much bulkier and much more has way more utility, while Venomoth is far more offensive, having a much better speed and special attack stat, but not nearly as bulky. And it has tinted lens as opposed to Prankster. So tinted lens is a great offensive and of course utility ability, but mostly an offensive ability. While Prankster, which is Dustox's new ability, is a very good defensive, utility type ability. It can be used offensively, of course. Dustox has a pretty good 95 base special attack stat now, very fitting for its design in my opinion, and just for the overall power levels in this hack, it just fits that it should have a solid special attack stat. But excuse me, but the main allure here is Prankster, the incredible move pool, and also the solid stats. 70, 80, 115 bulk is not anything too crazy, but it's very solid overall, especially that very good special defense stat. I think it fits to be more specially defensive than physically defensive, just looking at Dustox's design and whatnot. It already was that way before, but I think even more if I wanted to buff it, you should make it more special defense focused. It also has a pretty solid speed stat, which is good for stuff like Quiver Dance, which I'll get into later, and Lunar Dance, etc. But I'll get into that after, because first I want to talk about genuine defensive utility with Prankster. And also the reason I chose Prankster, I think, is pretty obvious. Look at this motherfucker. He looks pretty devious and mischievous to me. I don't know about you guys, but that's what they look like to me. And their dex entries do somewhat allude to Prankster, same reasons I gave it to like Butterfree and whatnot, only even more here because he really does look like straight up mischievous, and they scatter dust everywhere, and they're attracted to things at nighttime and stuff, so I think it fits to have the ability. I'm pretty sure it's literally mischievous in Japanese, so I'm pretty sure. So that's really awesome, right? Very, very fitting ability and a very good buff for it, especially because it speeds that. While it is solid, you're going to want Prankster to be able to out-prioritize stuff and just get that priority utility move off. So I'm going to talk about all the options it has now with Prankster. Also, yes, I talk about the pre-evolutions Wurmple in the Beautifly video. Cascoon has the same exact stats as Silcoon, but instead of having Tangling Hair, it retains Poison Point. It's just a very good mon for early game. You can choose which one you evolve into depending on the time of day, with whether or not you get Cascoon or Silcoon. Cascoon is also part Poison, which it was not before. That's one of the minor type changes, like fucking Seal and all these other random dumbass like baby mons that aren't even fully evolved, just got type changes for logical reasons, and because it is a better typing. Not that pure bug is bad or that bug poison is objectively better, but helps just keep it apart from Silcoon, I guess. I don't know. And it makes sense. So yeah, that's good for Hala. Although you could theoretically not evolve for Hala, but you would definitely want to evolve. But it's good for like early game, solid bulk, good decent offensive stats, great utility moves, which I'm going to get into now. So utility-wise, Dustox with Prankster has a lot of awesome stuff. It can do really anything, but some of its best moves are debuffing moves and status moves. So it has stuff like Priority Sticky Web, Priority Dual Screen, so Reflect and Light Screen, Toxic Spikes, Taunt, Parting Shot, Stun Spore, Poison Powder, and then later Toxic Thread. Toxic and Venom Drench with Prankster is incredible. Leer and Scary Face and Disable are all incredible with Prankster. Seriously, it's amazing. Like Leer, Scary Face especially. Like Scary Face drops attack by 1 and speed by 2, so that's a great option. Again, Toxic, Venom Drench, great. Also pairs nicely with Venoshock and Hex. T-Spike's priority is great. You can really just get off a lot of utility options before you die. For example, you can run Sash, with one utility move like Webs and then Parting Shot. Prankster, Webs, Parting Shot, boom. T-Spike's Parting Shot, boom. T-Spike's Webs, whatever you need to do. It's a great hazard setter. It's a really good setter for all this kind of stuff, honestly. And it also has very good bulk to back it up. So, after a Scary Face, you're super tanky on the physical side, and then you have good special defense naturally. And you can always Parting Shot out whenever you want with that Prankster to get into your teammate for free, which is really nice. You can also abuse Prankster for sleep moves. So you get Sleep Powder and Mesmerize. So Sleep Powder is 85% accurate, and Mesmerize is 100% accurate, although it is 20 levels later, for balancing reasons. Mesmerize, I think, fits relatively well, given their weird design and their weird not awkward, but like almost hypnotic shaped eyes, and their colors and the eye spots in their wings. I think it fits well enough. And I think that they really needed some really awesome moves. That's also the reason I gave it Strength Sap. I acknowledge that Strength Sap doesn't make much sense for Dustox. I'm not going to lie to you. The logic I could give is just, number one, it's a bug type, so, it could kind of just justify it that way. But also, it's got this weird, almost not alien vibe, but, this devious vibe, like it drains the energy from its enemies and stuff. That's a little bit of a headcanon. It's not very logical, but I just think it fits, and I think it really needs it for healing because, of course, it has Prankster Roost early game, but then Strength Up is a nice upgrade over that. Not necessarily an upgrade in every case, but it's just a great healing move. Obviously, we all know what that does. It's a great option. It does only have 3 PP now, just for balancing reasons, but it's still a great move nonetheless. It also has setup stuff like Barrier and Calm Mind with Prankster, which is great. You also have other setups such as Quiver Dance and Nasty Plot, but that isn't relevant with Prankster really because you're not getting a defensive boost. But with Calm Mind, you get that +1 Spit F as well. And then with Lunar Dance, you also get that +1 Spit F. So Lunar Dance functions like old Quiver Dance used to. So Quiver Dance used to give you +1 Spit F, speed, and special attack. Now it only gives you speed and special attack, which is still great. And then Lunar Dance is what gives you all 3 of those now. So that's obviously very fitting. Same reason I give it Moonblast. It already learns stuff like Moonlight naturally. It says right here it's attracted by the nighttime and it whatever night lights and all that shit. So I think having moon-based moves fits very nicely for Dustox. I'm pretty sure it also learned Moonblast, didn't it? No, it didn't. Just Moonlight, which is justification enough. Pranks, like I would say your takeaway Prankster moves here is like Strength Sap, Reflex Light Screen, Roost, Parting Shot, Mesmerize, Sleep Powder. Like it's really just, it's got a lot of awesome stuff it can do. Sticky Web, it's awesome, really so awesome with Prankster. Super very solid Prankster Mon. Tons of versatile options there. T-Wave, Stun Spore, even stuff like Spiteful Spell, which disables fairy type moves for 5 turns. You could use that. Acid Reflux, -3 Spit, does -4 Spit F and poisons the opponent. Again, Lunar Dance and Calm Mind when used offensively, or also Barrier, Prankster Barrier plus Lunar Dance is a great combo. I considered giving them stored power, but I could, but I don't know. I don't think it fits that well, so I opted not to. But if you want to comment down below and you think I should give it stored power at like 65, then I'll do it, or even just at 60. Honestly, who cares? So with Mesmerize and Prankster or Strength Sap, so Mesmerize is 100% accurate, okay? So it's a guaranteed Prankster sleep move, which sounds overpowered, but sleep is reworked in this hack to be a lot more balanced. So sleep always lasts 2 turns. However, that first turn where they're sleeping is counted in those 2 turns. So for example, let's say Prankster sleep, right? You Prankster, you click Prankster sleep power on, you land it, which is 95% accurate. So also you can run a wide lens if you need to patch up that accuracy better. Put them to sleep, boom. Now you're chilling. You get 1 guaranteed turn. It's definitely it's both a buff and a nerf. It's more of a rework to sleep. It's a rework because sleep was very luck based, and so I wanted to make it a lot less luck based. Same with stuff like accuracy and all these other annoying status conditions and other dumb shit in Pokemon. Not that I completely removed it, because I think Pokemon should have elements of RNG into it. Of course, that's what makes Pokemon fun. But I did make it I made it a lot more consistent. So yes, sleep is consistent 2 turns, so you know exactly how many turns you're going to get. So, you put them to sleep with that Prankster, and now you can Parting Shot out. You get a free Parting Shot, which is nice. Or you get a free Taunt, or you get a free Scary Face, or a free, any other, or for setup for yourself, for example, or your free layer of T-Spikes, free Sticky Web, all that kind of stuff. It's free, because otherwise, you have Prankster Webs, sure, but you're still going to get attacked on that turn. If they use Taunt, sure, it's free. If they use an attacking move, you might need to run Sash. If it's a strong move, it's going to kill you. Of course, you are also very bulky on your own. 80 base defense isn't the greatest, 70 base HP isn't the greatest, but it's very solid given the fact that you are relatively offensive, relatively fast, and have a good special defense stat and a good typing. Despite popular belief, Bug Poison is actually a very good defensive typing. Yes, it has common weaknesses, but it also has 2 amazing 4x resists to grass and fighting, and it has resistance to poison, fairy, and bug, which is nice. Really nice, honestly. Not to mention, it does have the ability to Levitate. I cover this in every Pokemon I give Levitate, where the other ability seems better. It's a situational type thing. Logically, it just really bugged me that these Pokemon were vulnerable to ground moves like Earthquake. Just logically, they should not be. It's literally a flying bug. Like, it should not be hit by Earthquake. And so I think that for the player especially, it's a great option. For trainer, yeah, it's kind of poopy. Like the AI can't counter team and shit, so they're gonna be running Prankster most of the time. Same with like Venomoth with Tinted Lens and all these other Mons with Levitate. But for the player, it's a great tool to have, because gaining a complete immunity to the powerful ground moves such as Earthquake, Megaton Kick, Headlong Rush, Precipice Blade, all these common, Seismic Fist, all these common strong ground type moves, being completely immune to those is a great asset. You switch it in for free. It completely stonewalls ground mons, ground moves, of course, besides like Mold Breaker and stuff. It's just a great ability. I mean, it's very nice because you have the freedom to switch between Prankster and Levitate. So for one boss fight, you're going to need Prankster. For the other boss fight, maybe you need to switch it on a ground move. Maybe you need to have your Dustox enter a ground type, or Pokemon with the strong ground move. Okay, then you swap on Levitate, because in this hack, you have the luxury of infinite usability capsules, so you can easily just swap between Levitate or Prankster. Obviously, Prankster will be your go-to ability in most cases, and if you're playing blind, then yeah, good luck. I guess you would only ever run Levitate on like... versus like a trainer where you know for a fact they're gonna have a ground move. But obviously, this is more for hardcore Nuzlockers and people who are going to be playing more strategically, which is, no shade to people who just want a blind playthrough. That's totally valid, understandable. Most people are going to be doing that, I understand. That's the main appeal of Pokemon for a lot of people, especially ROM hacks. But I did design that with hardcore Nuzlocks in mind, so for those people, yes, you can take advantage of Levitate and Prankster. Back on topic, though, yeah, Prankster, Strength Sap, Barrier, Calm Mind, Mesmerize, Lunar Dance, Sleep Powder, Disable, Scary Face, Sticky Web, Toxic Spikes, Reflect, Light Screen, Parting Shot. It's got so much stuff. It's really great, and it's really customizable because all of these moves, a lot of them are TMs. Of course, stuff like Sticky Web and Toxic is and Scary Face, all these other good moves are not reteachable, but a lot of the good ones are also reteachable, such as T-Spikes, Dual Screens, Taunt, Parting Shot, T-Wave. All these moves you can teach them whenever you want. You also have solid coverage, so for offensive sets, you can definitely take advantage of Prankster with offensive sets, like I said earlier, with good moves. You also have good coverage. You can also just set up like Prankster grassy terrain, simple shit like that is really useful because in this hack there's a lot of room for strategy. So even simple stuff like gravity or skill swap could be very useful versus like a totem fight, for example. Prankster is great. Skill swap that ability away, whatever it is. It's a very strong ability. Prankster grassy terrain, set up that grassy terrain for your nature power on your other teammate, or for your grassy seed on your other teammate, or for your grassy guard teammate. You can Prankster grassy terrain and then Parting Shot out into your grassy guard mon. Boom, now you get the defense boost. Rain Dance with your Swift Swimmer, or your hydration user, or Sunny Day with your solar power, solar rush user, whatever it is. It's a great thing to have. It's very customizable, so you can definitely tailor your moveset to fit the specific occasion that you're going to fight. It's a very customizable mon, and it's very versatile, and it rewards a lot of skill and planning ahead. But yeah, offensively it has good coverage. It's got Giga Drain, Energy Ball, Solar Beam, Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Dark Pulse, Shadow Ball, Psychic, Dual Stab. I also give it Shockwave and Charge Beam. I didn't give it Thunderbolt or Thunder. I felt like that was kind of weird, but I feel like Charge Beam and Shockwave kind of fits its design and its weird vibe and stuff. And I already learned Electro Rev, so why not give it some cool other electric moves? Shockwave being priority. So Shockwave is 55 base power plus 2 priority. Electro Web drops speed by 1 and is 60 base power, 100% accurate. Same with like Icy Wind and stuff. Icy Wind is also a good coverage move for specific occasions. And then you have stuff like Charge Beam, which is special attack stat, which could be pretty fun. Other good coverage like Weather Ball and Natural Gift and stuff. It's just a really solid mon. Really awesome, really fun to use with utility. Even just Prankster Disable is good. Again, Prankster Leer, Scary Face are good. Sleep Powder is incredible. Strength Sap is incredible. Barrier. Like late game is when you start to get the really good Prankster shit, but obviously you have Prankster dual screens from Akala. You can use that as the second you get to Brookwood Hill. You get those TMs, now you can use Prankster dual screens with Light Clay, and now you've got an amazing utility mon, even just for that. Prankster, Reflect, Light Screen, Parting Shot. Obviously there are other Prankster Pokemon that can do the same thing, but it doesn't change the fact that Dustox is still great in that it also can do all of this stuff. I'm pretty sure it might also be the only Prankster Mesmerize mon. There might be one more, actually. I think there might be one more. I take that back, but it's still great to have that. Of course, you get a guaranteed turn of sleep, so you can get a guaranteed Lunar Dance off, no matter what. So essentially, you click Mesmerize, as long as the Pokemon isn't a Ghost type, because Mesmerize will fail on Ghosts. Keep that in mind. And Sleep Powder, of course, will fail on Grass types, and it'll fail on Sap Mon. So there is some counterplay. Also, for the player, it's not that big of a deal, because you're only sleeping for 2 turns, so you can guarantee that you'll know when you wake up. Still dangerous, and you still play around it. You also have tons of priority moves, and stuff like that available to you. So it's always easier to play around as a player because you just have a lot of foresight. I don't know. There's not really too much to talk about. Destiny Bond's great. Powder Z Powder gives +1 to all your stats, which is nice. It's good because it gives you that Quiver Dance boost on top of giving you a boost to both your defensive stats, which is nice. You can use that with like Prankster Roost or Prankster Strength Sap and like become super tanky, which is great. Again, Prankster Barrier Strength Sap is incredible. Prankster Barrier Lunar Dance Strength Sap, that's a great set right there. You can just get +2 speed, +2 special attack, +2 special defense, +4 defense, because each of those moves all have 2 PP. So you get incredible boosts right there. There's really not too much to talk about. I think I covered everything pretty in depth. Again, Cascoon is a very solid mon for early game. It evolves at 20, so that should be. Wait, no, this is the right. Yeah, I was correct. Yeah, I think I got everything. So I hope this video was entertaining and informative. If it was, feel free to subscribe if you listened this far and you're new here. That'll be very helpful for me. Also, feel free to drop a like. Also, leave a comment down below. That kind of stuff would be helpful for the algorithm to get my videos recommended to more people. Feel free to join my Discord server. It's in the description below. You can talk to me in there. You can talk to other people in there. You can see live progress updates on my on this hack, and you can also play my older hack called Baron Black. You can find more information about that on my Discord server if you want. Not as in-depth as Sweltering Sun is, but it's still a great hack and definitely more detailed than other stuff. So yeah, at risk of talking too long, I'm gonna leave it off here. It's just a great mon, man. Tons of amazing utility, tons of awesome coverage, and all this great stuff. Really fun to use, definitely, and rewards skill, of course. Not skill, but strategy, right? I don't want to say skill, but rewards strategy and stuff. Yeah, really cool mon. I'm really happy with the changes for it. Very, very, very good utility, bug poison type. Very fun to use. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it off here, and thank you for listening. Bye, everyone.